Welcome to Backyard Plinking. My name is Charles. I'll be your host as we go through and explore everything BB and pellet related, from air pistols to air rifles, targets, and ammo. Yes, I forgot something, and she saw the last video I did where I owned up to it, so I guess I earned this one. She wasn't kidding about this. Anyway, been kind of a rough day so far. Look, get a haircut. Place that I've been several times in the past few months. The guy that normally does it wasn't there, so his partner or fellow that works there or whatever. It's nice enough fella, receding hairline, older guy. Just one of those kind of people that after a while kind of grates on your nerves some. That, oh yeah, like me. But it's one of those fellas that go through and say, gee, receding the hairline, got hair growing out of his ears and stuff. And it's a God, did you look in the mirror this morning before you left? I mean, I realize that, things like that happen when you get older, but anyway, I sit down there and he finally shows up and he says, well, I think you ought to do this and that and the other. Just take and, cut it. I want it this way and it. Well, you ought to try to. So then he tells me I'm aggravated now because I'm already behind schedule. I got other stuff I need to do. He said, well, it hadn't been long since you was in here and all your hair started growing back out. I said, man, my hairlines are receding. I said, you got to tell me your secret. I kind of looked over my shoulder. I said, won't you try the stuff you're spraying in your ears? That seems to be working. And he got all pissed. So now I got to go somewhere this afternoon and get a haircut. Sorry. Anyway, which brought me to another argument that I had to go through. We are going to use the Daisy POWERLINE 800 pump, the Crosman 1077 CO2 powered pellet rifle, and we are going to do an impact test. All right, now what I mean by that is the ballistics gel has a certain use. What I want to know, and hopefully you guys do too, at 10 yards out, how hard is this thing actually going to hit? Ballistics gel's test is great for kinetic transference and all that. It's not a modern firearm. It's an air gun. I want to know if I hit something, is it going to go through it? If you have a pest, a rodent, something that's tearing something up, and this is the only shot that you have, whatever it is that you're using, are you going to be able to dispatch the pest? You don't want something limping away. I'm not, advocating just going out and randomly shooting things, but I mean, if you got something that's destroying your property, that's, tearing up a structure, which will happen, destroying, if you got a garden or eating the flowers or tearing stuff up, and you want to dispatch them, and today we're going to do 10 yards from here to there. Then we'll try them at 15 to see what happens. This is an experiment to see if my idea and my theory is going to work. Now here was my theory. This is a wooden spoon. We're going to try to take out one of the slots. It's oak, it's a hardwood, right? And they're fairly thick. Normally I don't share what I'm going to do with people that I know, for certain reasons. This happens to be one of them. guy I know was asking me, he said, "What are you going to do?" Well, I'm going to try an impact test, and told him the whole thing for some reason. I said, I think I'm going to use a wooden spoon because, some of the slotted spoons, that'd be just right. If you catch something in the shoulder, or, if this is all that you have, that should tell me if you use a certain air rifle that, you can dispatch it. You don't want them limping away from there. And he says, well, why don't you use like one of them thick plastic spoons? I said, the saying is sticks and stones will break my bones. It didn't say anything about plastic spoons and Tupperware. Well, yeah, but you could do this, that, and the other. And then someone else that I know that was standing around gets into the conversation. Why don't you try one that's got Teflon in it? And then somebody else. And then all of a sudden, there's an argument and a discussion about what I'm going to do. And I finally sit back and I was like, this is insane. I've been arguing for 10 minutes about what I'm going to use, for an impact test. Obviously, it's going to be a freaking wooden spoon. Anyway, here's the general idea. Wooden spoon. And I've got several. This is an experiment. This is a test. I'm going to take this out there 10 yards. Take one shot at one of the tooth, or the slot, and one shot directly into the shaft of the spoon. Daisy POWERLINE 800 series pump, which is something that most people would have sitting around if you're trying to just make the rabbits go away, or the coons or the squirrels or whatever. And because of the issue with the Legacy 1000, I don't have it. But another good option that is relatively inexpensive and will give you more than one shot repeatedly is going to be the 1077 repeater, CO2 power. So, let me catch my breath. I'm going to go set up my non-Teflon, non-plastic wooden spoon 10 yards out, and I'll be right back. Alright, the first one we're going to do is the Daisy POWERLINE 800 series, the 880 standard flat nose song and a dance pellets. 10 pumps. If I can hit it, we're in good shape. Took the whole side off. Got the second camera set up over there, so we'll get to have a little closer look. The next one, going to shoot right at the handle. I want to see how much impact this thing has, right? Wow. All right. Let me change spoons. Not plastic, not wooden. All right. Crosman 1077 CO2 powered repeater. Same pellets in the magazine. Standard flat nose. $1.97 for 1,000,000 of them, it seems like. Alright, same steps. First shot is going to be up at the where the slots are. Second shot in the handle. Second one's in the handle. Oop. Put off. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Been one of those days. Let me go get this thing and we'll take a closer look. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, I think we have found ourselves a pretty good impact test. You know, like I said before, ballistics gel and stuff like that is great, but I don't really care what happens 4 feet away. I want to know what happens 10 yards away, or 15, or 20. Whatever it is, if I'm actually trying to dispatch something, you know, if I'm not just plinking around or something like that, if I'm trying to make something go away, I'm not going to do it at 4 feet. Do it at 15 yards. I think we're on to something. It's the one from the Daisy. See how thick the slots were? The first shot made the whole end disappear. Second round, buried in the handle. Now this is actually 10.7 yards. You can tell, I mean, I've kind of moved everything back a little bit, so remember that. The next one, Crosman, 1077 CO2 repeater, the one that got away from me. This right here was actually the first shot. Once again, you can see how thick the spoon is. You can see, took the whole chunk out. Next one, the whole side's gone. And then obviously you can see how hard it hit the handle. Now that is a brand new CO2 cartridge, so obviously after enough rounds it's going to start losing a lot of juice. But if this thing was prepped where all you had to do was screw it down, seat the cartridge, go out, start to shoot, this is what you're going to get, about 10 yards. That's a pretty good lick, especially with just a flat nose pellet. We'll do this again with you know, that'll get us into our ammo tests and whatnot, but thought that was pretty interesting. So we're well on our way. We have found something that we can use for an impact. The ballistics gel we're going to use for our different types of ammo, you know, because that was something else that was kind of part of the argument this morning. Let me rephrase that. It was part of what they were arguing about that I was like, I don't really care what y'all think. It had to do with shot grouping, accuracy. This is, you know, I mean, this thing just went everywhere. I just, they're probably still arguing. I left. The 3-shot group, this, that, together. And if you're using a break barrel air rifle, how many shots are you going to get off that quick? It's an air-powered muzzleloader. You break it down, load it. That's it. And accuracy's great. We'll get to all of that, but I want to know how hard if I hit it hard enough, if I find something that hits hard enough the first time, you know, 15, 20, 25, 30 yards, There is no second shot. Accuracy is something completely different. We'll get there. Till next time, my name is Charles. This has been Backyard Plinking.